Okay, just a second. Okay, so today's topic is quite enchanting, and topic is fairies and different kinds of fairies, their types. So, what are fairies basically? Fairies, often seen as magical and whimsical beings, have been part of folklore and mythology across cultures for centuries. They are typically associated with nature, enchantment, and the supernatural, embodying the spirit of natural world. So basically, fairies are the caretaker of the natural world, and fairies are the guardians of nature. And there are many cultures across the world where fairies, where people talk about fairies, and there have been stories about fairies and other things. The fairies are often depicted as guardians of the elements and are believed to influence the environment, seasons, and even human emotions. Okay. Now, fairies are mystical creatures believed in to inhabit the spaces between human and spiritual worlds, often associated with nature. They are thought to be protectors of forests, rivers, and other natural elements. So, fairies are mythical creatures and they are mystical as well. And they live where we cannot see them, but they are there. And the way we cannot see a lot of things, they are also one of the world that we cannot see, fairy world, but they are there. Now, often associated with nature, they are thought to be protectors of forests. They protect forests, they protect rivers and other natural elements, even flowers and leaves and plants and flora and fauna in the forest and gardens. In folklore, fairies are described as ethereal beings, often small and delicate, with magical powers and a strong connection to the earth. Fairies are basically earth-based elemental beings. They are also called elemental beings, and they are earth-based. They have magical powers, and most of their magical powers are also to beautify the earth, to protect, and I know they are the guardians of the nature. So most of their magical powers is to protect nature, and they have a strong connection with earth. Now, fairies can be benevolent, mischievous, or even a mix of both, depending on cultural context and depending on the kind of fairies we are talking about. So, they're benevolent, they are very nice fairies, and they're mischievous also, or even a mix of both. Yes, if both the traits are there in fairies, they're mischievous as well, and depending on the cultural context and depending on the kind of fairies we are talking about. Now, nature fairies. Now, these fairies are guardians of natural elements. Elements like woodland fairies, they reside in forest. They protect trees and wildlife, and they are also very friends with animals, animals and little creatures of the forest and gardens. They are caretakers of them as well, and they are friends of them. Now, flower fairies associated with blossoms, associated with flowers, helping plants grow and bloom. So they help flowers grow and blossom, and they help even plants to grow and blossom. Water fairies. These fairies live near water bodies like streams, rivers, and ponds. Their examples are naiads, and undines. So these are water fairies. They live near water bodies like streams and rivers and ponds. Some mountain fairies, they dwell in high altitude terrains, guarding minerals and caves. So these are such fairies as well. Now, elemental fairies. So elemental fairies are those fairies which protect, which are related, associated with four elements like fire, earth, air, and water. Now, representing transformation and creativity, fire fairies. So, fire fairies represent transformation and creativity, as fire is also about creation, creativity, passion, and like we have in tarot, but they are a little different over here. And earth fairies, they are grounded and nurturing fairies who promote stability. So whatever powers that they have, whatever the kind of nature they have, nature as in the correct characteristics, they are associated with their nature, and they take care of the earth and the nature as in the natural environment in that ways also. So like earth fairies will nurture the environment, and fire fairies will help you in creativity and things like that. Now air fairies, light and whimsical, they're light and whimsical, associated with winds and whispers. So they may whisper sometime in your ears and they may say something. It's like they interact with humans in a very peculiar way when it comes to interaction. And it's not the natural, it doesn't happen every day that fairies interact with humans nowadays, but they used to. I believe so. And there have been evidence, and there have been a lot of folklore and stories come from fairies, where used to interact with human beings, but now it is not like that now. I'll come upon that also in the later slides. Now, water fairies, fluid, emotional, embodying intuition and healing. So, water fairies, they help you in intuition. They are emotional, fluid, emotional, and embodying intuition and healing. They are healers also.
Are the fairies like angels?
Fairies are not like angels. Fairies are very different from angels. I will come upon this also. I will come upon this also, because angels are different and fairies are basically, they are related to earth. Fairies live on earth also, but we cannot see them. We cannot see their world, because that world is very different from ours.
Acha, acha.
Yeah, angels are basically, they don't live on earth. They protect us from heaven. I mean, from where they come. But fairies live on the earth, but we cannot see them.
So they
Most of
are
the
any spirit guide? Are they spirits? Are they?
uh, fairies can be your spirit guides, but only if you believe. Fairies are basically elemental beings who are here to protect earth. They
But
protect earth. They can be your spirit guides. I've not heard of fairies being your spirit guides, but you may choose them to be your spirit guides if you consciously want to be one of them who would like them to be your spirit guide. You can. They are
and how
talkative.
do we differentiate? How do we suppose we are getting guidance from the universe? How do I know is it a fairy or is it a angel?
Fairies are different. Fairies are completely different. Is a different kind of world, and angels are very different. Angels are celestial beings. Angels are celestial beings of light who are messengers of God. I mean, you must have
Yeah,
heard of
yeah,
it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So their work is very different. Their domain is very different from what
Uh-huh.
fairies can do. Fairies do little magic here and there. They tease you. They will be mischievous, and they will help, like trees. They reside in natural environment. They love to be in nature and things like that. But angels are celestial beings of light.
Correct, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's how. So that's why I'm saying in these slides, I was saying about nature fairies, like how they protect forests, trees, wildlife. There are different kind of fairies. Few fairies live in woodland, woodland like in forests.
Huh.
Few associated with flowers, waters, mountain fairies, and etc. So now we come to on seasonal fairies. There are seasonal fairies. I mean, if you have seen the movie, I have seen it, so I was fascinated that I was coming across, going across the these things. Um, Tinkerbell. If you see Tinkerbell, there are all these kind of fairies are there. So spring fairies bring renewal and fertility to nature. They're believed to bring of renewal and fertility to nature. Summer fairies foster abundance, warmth, and vitality. So summer fairies have different characteristics, and they do different work according to the seasons. Now, autumn fairies harvest gardens. They are the gardens of the harvest, and they represent change and letting go. So, see, letting go is so important that even fairies help us to let go, and they help the environment also in that ways, because um, autumn is a season of letting go. So perhaps. So, winter fairies, they bring rest and reflection. See, all these seasons have their own ways of saying us that seasons come and go, and our life also, seasons are also there in our life also. They come and go. And in every season, there is a different take of seasons also, like in spring we are chirpy and we are up there, in summers also, but in autumn we are like we should let go of the things that teach us how summer the what I mean to say is the seasons also teach us to do something or the other in our life. Winter fairies bring rest and reflection. So these are different kind of fairies. So these are some kind of fairies that, I mean, fairies are very, these are the kind of fairies, they have different kind of wings. Angels have different wings. If you can see, these are different kind of fairies that exist, and they are basically nature based. Now, fairies, household fairies, it is a belief that there are household fairies also, those fairies who interact with humans and their homes, like brownies. Brownies help in household chores, bring good fortune if respected. So, all I want to say is that if you believe in them, they will help you. First is your belief. Now, bogarts, mischievous fairies that cause small disturbances. So, yes, fairies are mischievous sometimes. Now, there are mischievous fairies like pixies. Pixies are small fairies. They are fun-loving pranksters, often leading travelers astray. Okay, suppose you are traveling and they can prank you, and they can show you the wrong direction also. So pixies are like that. People believe in it. Irish folklore has a lot of such fairies. Now, leprechauns, these are crafty fairies with hidden treasure, particularly gold. So in Ireland, it is a belief that leprechauns have they have this gold pot of gold, and it is hidden at where the rainbow ends. Now, how to connect with fairies and how cannot we see fairies? First of all, we cannot see fairies because of the vibration, the frequency. Like we cannot see angels. Fairies have different tendencies also. They're different kind of elemental beings, and we cannot see them because their world is different from ours, but they do exist. We cannot see them, but they are there in certain part of world. They are there, not all, not everywhere, because human tend to doubt us. They say so. Now, how can you connect with fairies? Spend time in nature. Fairies are deeply connected to nature, especially to places like forests, gardens, near bodies of water. Spending time in these environments can help you attune in their energy. Sit quietly and observe your surroundings to feel their presence. So, first of all, I think the first thing should be how to believe in them. You know, if you believe, they are there. When we place a belief for something, it becomes real, and it becomes like, patthar ki laki. They are there. I mean, I want to believe that fairies are there. They are there. So that kind of faith, if we have, we can easily we can listen to them, intuitive guidance. We can get intuitive guidance from them, and like that. Now, create an inviting space. Fairies are drawn to places that are filled with beauty and positivity. You can create an altar or a space in your home with elements of nature such as flowers, crystals, or small ornaments or jewelry that represents their energy. Now, certain crystals like moonstone, rose quartz, and amethyst are said to attract fairy energy. You can also use tools like fairy bells or any elements, like, to strengthen your connection with them. Oh no, gifts. Fairies love gifts. So in fairy traditions, there are traditions in Ireland and other places. In many fairy traditions, offering small gifts like honey, milk, or other natural items, you can show respect to them, and can show respect and open the doorway to communication. Like, it is like, I am open to the communication. I'm open to the fairies, and fairies will then come in your life. It's always like that, I guess. Now, be patient and open. Just as with any spiritual connection, patience is key. Fairies communicate in their own world, and they may not show themselves immediately, because trust is something that, um, trust that they are around, and open yourself to the experience. What happens is, they might not trust you that easily, or they might not come to you that easily, because they might just test you whether you really believe in them or not. And they're mischievous also. They do things, certain things wherein they will hide some things from you. And it is believed that some fairies, sometimes these fairies hide things also within the homes also. So, trust is something that we have to gain, and by cultivating a sense of wonder, openness, and connection with the natural world, you can increase your chances of encountering and interaction with fairies. So this was the presentation. I'll stop sharing, but I do have some cards. Fairies are also there in the cards, like in the tarot cards, in oracle cards. There are many fairy decks also there. So I will show you some of the decks that I really love, because we are talking about fairies. So this is the deck which is very, people do not talk about it much, but I'll show you some cards from this deck, because, like I said, there are garden fairies. So this is the garden fairy. Fairies look like them, like these. They're small elements. They're small fairies, like that. Leprechauns and others. So these are garden fairies. This fairy queen. So they are fairy goddesses, fairy godmother, fairy godfather, and others. So this is Wisteria fairies. As I said, there are flower fairies. So this is the Wisteria fairy. So these are very beautiful cards, this deck. Apple Blossom Fairy. So you can imagine, this is the imagination of the maker of this deck, creator of this deck. But if you imagine that actually these kind of beings are there, so world is really beautiful if actually these beings are there. This is Bluebell Fairy. So fairies have very different take. Yeah.
I feel this story, this thing about fairy was actually in those olden days where, not as Kali Yuga, maybe sometime later, but where things were very remote and people used to walk on the road or they used to live alone in certain places and they felt that somebody is comforting them or somebody is taking care. But that can also be God, that can also be angel. How do you know it is fairy? That is what is confusing me.
Okay, I will tell you one thing. When you get an intuitive insight, I mean, when you want to communicate with certain being, that being, you invite that being, and we know that this being is like, I'm getting guidance from angels, or you are getting a guidance from fairies. So if you are doing any reading with a fairy deck and you believe that this is the fairy speaking to you, then this is the fairy speaking to you. So it is like in any case for that matter, whoever we call, we believe that this spiritual being is giving us the message. So that could happen with any kind of spiritual energy, but then it is very difficult to find out also. But fairies, if you feel them, they are very different from angels. It's about feeling. It's about when you feel that, no, okay, I'm getting such vibes. I think this is fairies. So the energy is very different from angels. Extremely different. I mean, there is nothing. There's the only common thing is that we cannot see them. They are unseen. That's the only thing. Otherwise, the energy is very different. I want to talk about this also. This deck also. The fairies the fairy oracle. This is done by Brian Froud, and this person mm, happens to see fairies, and he has painted fairies like that. So he is very famous. He is very famous. He has worked in certain movies also. But this deck is very different, and this deck it's a different take on fairies. And like I said, fairies are very different. They're smaller. See, fairies are smaller version of angels, if you will. Like angels are larger than life. Angels are, larger than life. They are so they are so magnanimous. But in fairies are literally smaller. They are smaller than us human beings. So there is a comparison in that ways comparison. We do not have any comparison. They are different worlds altogether. And angels don't live a life as in the fairies live a life. They have a life. It is said that they have a life. There is a world of fairies, and a lot of different kind of fairies live together. But angels do not live like that. Angels come from above, and they stay with us, they help us, and they are there. They don't live a life. Fairies have kings and queens and godmothers and everyone, everything else. And angels do not have that. Angels have different hierarchy.
So, how long is the life of a fairy?
I don't. Yeah. I think they do die also. I've seen in a deck where there was a fairy. Um, I cannot say that, but they live longer than humans, I think so. As far as I think, they don't die a normal life. It is like, it's also a different take on death also, because in human here we think that death is the end, but in many worlds it is thought that uh, the death is the beginning of things. You leave a body and you start somewhere else. So I believe that this is the death. They do not um, cry like us. They do not react like us. Fairies are very different in that sense. I've seen a card where a fairy has died, but yeah, they die naturally. Can we do a tarot reading messages from fairies?
Yeah, I was about to ask
Yeah,
that.
this is the deck that I have. This is by Karen K, and this is fairies. So let us take few cards out.
Trainer Shifali,
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
can I ask you something? Um,
Yes.
today my hypnotherapy. I didn't go to hypnotherapy I'll be going on Monday or Tuesday, but today I had a jamming session. After because I gave a laughter yoga and motivational talk, and
Yes.
there she had angel cards, this fairy cards, and the mirror cards, the flower cards. So, what is the difference? And mine was a healing card. It said that be clean.
Angels are very different. Actually, really, angels are different beings, and fairies are different. And flowers, what exactly is the question? I mean, I cannot see you also. What is
Um,
the question?
f- Sorry, someone moved my computer. Are you clear now?
Yeah,
Yeah. So what's the difference between the three?
angels and fairies.
Yeah, angels and fairies, and also well-wishing cards. What's the difference?
Well wishing.
I mean, not well-wishing. Tarot, angels, fairies, and tarot cards.
Tarot cards. Okay, fairy cards are not fairy cards, they are oracle cards. Angel
Yeah,
cards,
yeah, or oracle cards.
yeah.
Oracle card. What I saw is
Tarot
oracle
tarot cards have a system. Tarot cards have a system.
oracle cards. Yeah, oracle cards.
So
Only
this is an oracle card,
special
and
people can have it. Yeah,
yes, the theme of this deck is
yeah,
all.
yeah. I saw the deck. Yeah, is exactly
Yes, so that is why this is called oracle, and
oracle.
very themed deck. There are themes in oracle cards.
Yes, yes.
Whether they
And my oracle showed that be clean. So could you do a tarot reading
yeah, do
after
this.
you finish?
I am
After,
finished. I wanted to
yeah.
do a reading. Let's do a reading. Okay, shine from within.
Oh yeah.
Looks are only skin deep. True beauty shines from within, and it's time
Yeah.
for you. So
And
how wonderful this card is,
and
and
it's exactly the one that my hypnotherapy friend to today the professor told me also be clean. So being clean is also shining from within. Go to
yes,
temple and all the things.
yes, this is a time for self acceptance and revealing your true beauty. So basically, all these angels, fairies basically, they will always tell you how wonderful you are. They will give you messages. These are positive
Yeah.
messages. Angelic messages are different. If you take out angel cards, you will get different messages.
So
But when
what is the thing again? Shine from within, is it?
yes, shine from within.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
So
remember.
this is the message for us, shine from within. And I will take out few more cards. Wait. Okay. Now wisdom. Wisdom is the card. Just a sec. Wisdom. Have you ever been told that you're wise beyond your years? So one thing is for sure, like this is a general reading here. Okay, if you're having a challenge today, if you're having facing a challenge today, you are being called to seek your inner wisdom, your inner guidance. Like close your eyes, go within, and find out how exactly you would reciprocate to the challenge that is in front of you, and how wise you can, how wisely you can face that challenge. The wisdom, I mean, reaction, do not react, but respond to it in a positive way. So this is the uh, card. Do you have any question regarding this? I would like to do a reading or two. Anyone?
Like for me,
I want
for
to do.
me, uh, uh, for me, when my health shine, as in I know the condition will not change, so I've accepted, and I'm trying my best to accept whatever is, whatever will, and whatever will be. But
So this is the beginning of a new thing, you know. Your perspective has shifted from what it was earlier and now what it is. Okay. So this
yes,
is a new beginning. So start your life with a fresh energy, fresh thoughts, and freshness. Like, you know, the new beginning is the card that has come for you.
yes.
So the new
Oh,
beginning has come for you. So you can see how beautiful it is.
nice.
Yeah. हाँ जी, रुचिरा जी मैं आपके लिए निकालती हूँ. आई एम टेकिंग आउट अ कार्ड
So
फॉर
I, yeah, just take out a card. And I also want to know, does these fairies give negative answers also or only positive?
uh negative answers are what? I mean, these cards are basically they will tell you positive, negative, anything. Uh See, angels guidance is a different kind of guidance that you get from angels. Okay, it is love and light guidance. What I must say, like you know, positive, mostly positive and comforting, very comforting, like that. But in fairies you might get all sort of guidances. Begin this deck is very truthful. As in, these are different kind of messages. I mean, world day to day messages like that. So
Yet
you
that they can misguide you also because they are very naughty and that kind. So I'm
see
little vulnerable about that. That if you
one thing,
ever think,
one thing,
huh,
one thing. They misguide you certain times, and they will not harm you like that. It's a mischief that they do, and they know when they have to do this mischief. Yeah. So they will always do good for you. Mischievous, being mischievous is very different than being harmful. They won't harm you like that. And
okay,
these cards have messages. I think all sort of messages are there. Not that negative also. But let's see what comes for you. Any guidance for you? Okay, yeah, you are being told to go outside. I mean, do you go outside, Ruchiraji? Do
like
you
where
go in
you,
nature? Do you go in nature?
yeah, I go for walks near the water park.
So continue with that. Continue with that because and there's a beautiful message called flourish. And why this messages come for you? I mean, whatever your experiences have been, they have made you a very beautiful, like what I'm getting is that your experiences have shaped you in a very beautiful way. Okay. So continue to do so. Take the positive from your experiences and let the negatives go. Take the positive from your experiences, and you have all the traits of shining, of flourishing. Flourish is the card for you. Flourish.
That's great. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
What is the
Yeah.
next message? Just take out one more card and see what's the next message.
Yes, sure. Wait a minute. Okay, again, this card has come. Shine from within. Shine from within. This card has again come up. So, what is seen, what I can see from here, I can see you as a person. But deep within, you are a wonderful human being. And this is the thing that this card means, that you are shining from within, and just let this negativities, let this self doubt, and inhibitions. Let these things go, and वो जो क्या बोलते हैं, कचरा कर निकालते हैं ना, हम अपने झाड़ फूक करते हैं,
हाँ,
वैसे
हाँ.
अंदर से वो निकालिए, and you are a wonderful person from within, and shine from within is what is coming for you. So don't take anyone's opinion of you on face value. Don't take anyone's opinion which is negative on face value. Don't take them personally. If someone is being negative to you, don't take it personally. So be light. Take things the way they are. They see, everyone comes with an opinion, and you do not have to take that opinion. So that is what is
Each
coming for
one's
you.
perspective towards each other is very different. So they don't know me within. They may be knowing me as a group.
Yes.
So, but
You
that actually sometimes makes me feel very down if I don't get that respect, because it makes me feel maybe I'm not apt for this group. That is what comes in me.
don't take it personally. They may have a different frequency, they may have a different way of thinking than yours. So we are different people. So just bless them and let them go, and don't take that personally. Otherwise, yeah, just take out those nitty-gritties are there. Just polish yourself, and you'll shine like a diamond.
And what do I mean, like now, since today you got me introduced to fairies, till now,
Yeah.
I always thought fairies were for small children. So even my mother used to tell me a lot of fairy tale stories. But the moment I became 12 and 13, I forgot. I knew that they are just something to do with children's mind. And I started believing more into angels. So how do I, like, do you think I'll be able to resonate with fairies?
So
Or
what,
would
we
you?
have inner child in us. We have an inner child in us. The I mean, I started I was introduced to fairies by Doreen Virtue decks. So when I came out to the world of tarot, I saw certain decks, and I was like intrigued. I was fascinated, and you will not believe this. At this age, I've written this book, Enchantment. This book is mine, and this is a fairy tale. So this is a fairy tale. So
And where to get this book?
you can get it from Amazon. It is there. Shefali Rathod, Enchantment. So this is the book. It is a fairy tale. So, and it is for adults, because the theme is romantic romance, and a lot of learnings from this book, from this story. So what I can tell you is that we have an inner child. An inner child wants some beautiful things, like gnomes are there, leprechauns are there, fairies are there, everything is there. We just have to believe in it. They are
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Actually, when you say inner child, suddenly I'm going within and I'm feeling happy because now, with whatever my age is, suppose somebody says, "Oh, in childhood we used to do this," it resonates with me so much. Like, I just get a lot of happiness when I listen of
Yes.
any nitty gritty which we've done when I was young.
That is why when we are happy, when we are joyous within, when life is light, when there's so much going on in our life, I turn to these small creatures who are very affectionate and very sweet, these fairies and other things which are there for me and you also. Na- don't let this inner child suffer because of the heaviness in life. So introduce it to the world of magic, because our inner child loves magic.
I used to all the time think there are lots of magic happening, but I used to think that it is our ancestors who are helping me. Like, of course, God is the ultimatum, but suddenly if I'm wishing for, if I'm just, yesterday I was just saying we were playing a game and I said, I have to cross 20 because that was the ultimatum. And I crossed just by saying I have to cross 20 and I won. So I then suddenly realized that there was something which was guiding me that to say that I will cross 20.
I think in life, a lot of spiritual energies help us. We do not know when who is helping, but they are all there to support us.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anything else? Anyone else?
Yeah,
Shabana?
reading for us as well. Meenaji is also asking.
Yeah.
Meenaji, say, you have to unmute, Meenaji.
Yes, Meena here.
Yeah.
It's night time, so getting used to it.
Okay. If you're going through something, some darkness in your life, if there is anything that is dark, or where you think that you have lost all hope, or you think that, things are not going the way I want it to be. So there's one guidance for you is that light always penetrates darkness. Life is always there. Life is always there. Light has always been there. Light will always be there. So never in any situation feel that you are hopeless, you are helpless, because that is the time when you are giving up. So do not give up to anything, and let the magic of fairies help you, because light is very different from the darkness. Life will strike, the light energy will strike at the right time, and the darkness will be gone. So never feel helpless, never feel hopeless, and always believe that something good is going to happen with you. Unmute yourself.
I'm saying just take out one card. I want to see the frequency.
Okay, I think we all have got a theme here. Go outside. Go outside, connect to nature more.
Yeah. First
This
one I didn't connect with, but second one, yes, I did.
Yes, though the thing is that it may be someday when some days are good and some days are bad. So maybe it is a future का भी आ गया आपका पास में, that if ever you feel like that life is becoming harsh on you, life is becoming darkness is there, it's harsh, then always believe that light is also there, light exists. Shabana ji,
Yes.
let's see. Shabana ji, wish wisely. I think you have a wish in your heart and you want to fulfill that wish.
Okay. There are many wishes.
Huh? So you have wishes, so wish wisely, and that wish, and act towards that wish. Take practical steps to go toward making your wish come true.
Okay.
And things might just take some time, but things might just happen.
Okay.
Don't give up as yet.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So I think it's done for today. Anything else?
Shefali, I'm very happy that straight away him my second caregiver bought me a unicorn with light, and they both gave me unicorn with light. I'm so happy this Christmas. Your energy transfer is very good. Thank you,
Thank you.
Maven platform. Yeah.
Thank
Keep
you.
the
Bye.
smiling.
Thank you so much, Shefali. It was wonderful session and so good to know about fairies.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much for letting me do this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.